Hello everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Games Up, your weekly conversational gaming podcast. My name is Cameron McCulloch-Keeble and you are here for episode 4. I am joined, as ever, to my left by the one and only Mr. Lewis Crawford.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Good, yeah.
Cool. We are also joined by the other one and only, on my right, Mr. Peter Clark.
Hello.
And dead in the middle of this man sandwich is the one, the other one and only, back from the dead, Lawrence Titley.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am alive.
Well, that's good. That's
Always
kind
good.
of the minimal we'd expect, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not just announcing the indie game.
Aren't you?
Anyway.
Oh, I am. Oh, very
He
good.
gets
That's
it in time.
Gaming jokes.
Don't starve.
Don't start. That would be terrible. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this show works. We start off with your news headlines. We go into an indie game of the week. We do a discussion of the week, and this week we have even a special news segment which we'll introduce you to. Shall we get started with the headlines?
Go.
Yes.
Cool. This week, despite being a fairly slow week, we have 27 headlines.
Of course we do.
Yay.
Excellent.
Hey.
Number 1, Twitch has been bought.
Yeah, officially.
The rumours were true, but only the second time around. It wasn't Google that has bought Twitch. Amazon have bought Twitch
That makes no sense.
for $970 million in cash.
In cash, what?
In cash. Not stocks.
In
In cash.
Oh, nice.
They have like a wheelbarrow.
Amazon is the equivalent of that one guy in a club making it rain.
Cash
I
again,
love
boss.
that so many... You all did the thing. Very nice.
This is. I'm kind of imagining like a man in a briefcase situation.
Yeah.
Just not necessarily in cash, but without bank transfers, just handing them
Yeah.
over.
Did you see that when Samsung lost a patent disagreement with Apple, they had to pay them like hundreds of millions of dollars, so they did it in bags of pennies and turned up with trucks of bags of pennies and just dumped them off outside Apple and said, there you go. So there you go, 970 million in cash. The company has said that Twitch will remain the same in the short term, so we'll see what that means.
Okay.
They'll probably try and fuse it with Amazon.
Doing their
what's it
Amazon
called?
Prime instant
That's it.
video. Yeah.
Maybe just someone was buying their pension.
Yeah. Well, it'd be cool if pro users of Twitch got Amazon Prime stuff and the other way around.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Hopeful.
Yeah, that's a bit of a positive way to look
Yeah.
at it, but we have to be positive a little bit.
Oh, come on.
That's
I don't
not
know.
my point in this show.
I know, you're the cynical one.
Well, I'm still for the idea of people changing to other services, I think.
Such as?
There are others out there. I just can't remember the names of them at the moment.
Yeah, the idea of the
whole Google
unification
Hangout
of
thing and
Well, the problem is that
the other thing and
the
That
censorship
thing.
that
problem,
thing is...
the audio censorship problem is actually going to be a really big problem.
Yeah.
But they have come out and said that they made a mistake there, haven't they? Like, they have come out and admitted, okay, we done wrong there.
Well, at least they've done that.
So,
well, at least it's not all Google.
yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. Number 2, Gamer X, an event which was previously focused on the LGBTQ gaming community, is being renamed and rebranded with a much broader feel. As of this year, it will be called GX3 and aims to represent not just the LGBTQ community, but anyone who feels separate from mainstream gaming culture.
So that's everyone.
Well, we're a room of white middle-class dudes, so we can't really talk. But I know what you
about that.
mean. It's a much broader thing. and
Let's
much-
just say alternative. Everyone plays alternative music these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true. But good for them. Good for them that they're getting bigger.
Indeed.
Number 3, Destiny has gone gold, meaning work on the title is now complete and the only thing left to do is ship the game. Congratulations, Bungie, and good luck with what could be one of the biggest games of the year, if not of a long time.
Is patch all the mess ups.
Still have no clue what the game's about, but yeah.
It's like Halo crossed with Borderlands crossed with an MMO.
In space.
Yep.
Okay.
You shoot and loot things, but it's not cel-shaded and funny. It's serious, and it's supposed to be a multiplayer first thing.
Oh, cool.
Cool. There you
Fair
go.
enough. Go for it.
Number 4, The Elder Scrolls Online has announced a subscriber loyalty program which is intended to reward those who have subscribed for extended periods of time. The first reward is an in-game pet, which is available to those who have subscribed in paid, so this doesn't include the first free month, for 3 months at least.
Okay.
An in-game pet doesn't really seem worth
Too little,
3
too
months.
No, but it's something that I've seen in quite a few MMOs do. Just loyalty rewards for staying on.
Will it work? Here
No.
is the question.
Did you notice it's only 3 months? In which case,
They'll have
This
more.
is an
It won't just be
advertising
that.
thing. This
They'll
is
be doing
it's a
them.
way to get
Just
people to
say,
sign
hey,
up.
sorry, the game is awful. Here's a rabbit. It's
You know, Likey the Elder Scrolls Online?
not online, I don't.
Some
How
people
come?
do.
It's all just too
There
big
doesn't seem
box of sort of thing.
That is an amazing description as to why you
Yeah.
dislike something.
there doesn't seem to be a reason for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's okay. I have played it.
Have you?
It's all right.
Did you play it? Did you subscribe to it? Or did
No,
you
this
play
was
it
during
the beta.
the beta stage.
Okay,
Did you find anything meaningfully added to Skyrim?
It isn't Skyrim,
Not entirely.
though, is it?
Well, that's the thing. Do we now get an Elder Scrolls 6, which is effectively Skyrim 2, or is this it? Do they keep because it's coming to consoles?
I don't even know where it's
I-
set.
I think they'll probably do a separate single player one because it has. I don't know.
Like, is it going to be like GTA 6 and GTA Online, where they're inevitably going to be packaged together but two separate
Oh, I see.
things? Is it?
I see.
Maybe what they're frantically doing is trying to find a new region of Tamriel to
Yeah.
put it in. Before
Well,
it was
actually-
just,
Well, we've got
There is quite a few regions that haven't been
elsewhere.
entered yet.
that's true.
And the place where the red guards come from.
I'd like to see elsewhere.
Hammerfall, it was a...
Hammerfell.
Yeah, Hammerfell has been
has
one of the
explored.
Has it? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it has. But
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say something. Yeah, I don't think they could fuse them together exactly because the game is very different.
Yeah.
I was going to say, shut your phone off. Should we go for number 5?
Go.
Number 5, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham has been given a release date. The game will release in November the 11th in the US and the 14th in everywhere else. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Bad cow.
In my
Okay,
mind,
back out.
in my mind, Batman Beyond Gotham just looks a little lost.
Oh, you don't like it when things go into space? Then?
I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just the mental image is
Oh.
Okay.
fascinating.
He gets outside Gotham's. I don't know where everything is. I think.
Like a bat in headlights. Robin.
Excuse me. Can you tell me how to get back to Gotham, please?
Tumbleweed.
Aren't you Batman? Yeah, just shut up and tell me.
I would love them to do. I don't know if you guys played the Lego Batman games.
Yes.
Love them.
Yes.
I would like them to go back and do what they did in the first one.
An actual like more story.
Well, yeah, I mean,
linear sort
the
of
first
thing.
ones followed the movies, but they also allowed you to be the villains, like in stories.
Oh, the villain chapters. Yeah.
Can you not do that in Lego Batman 2?
No,
No.
you're always Batman the hero. Or you're
You're
not
always
but
Batman
you're always
or
the
a
hero.
member of the.
I mean,
Justice
literally,
League.
you could play you would do a level as a bad guy.
But you didn't have separate levels as them.
You did.
Yeah, you had.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So instead of being I mean, of course, you can choose a bad guy and play it with them. You literally would have a story that was centered around that character.
Interesting. Yeah,
So you'd be Joker and you'd do a Joker story.
And then
because
your plan
it was
would
kind of like the backwards of it, like wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like what
Yeah.
Batman saw, you set up.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Because it would always end with their plan succeeding,
Yes.
rather than Batman coming
Then
in.
surely there would need to be two different storylines. I mean,
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, well,
right? Okay, so it's not setting up for Batman to ruin. It's setting up something entirely different that's
Yes.
nothing
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
with the other thing.
But
Yeah,
I like
okay.
that, and then it's something they haven't really done in any of the other games as yet.
It's a clever idea.
I'd like to see it done.
yeah.
Number 6, even Nintendo has announced Pokken,
Yes.
a brawler
Pokken.
game featuring the pocket monsters of Pokemon being made by the Tekken team.
Oh,
Yeah.
Exclusively in arcades.
it's interesting.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is what's weird about it. It's the reaction to the game seems to be positive, and it's releasing in 2015, but only on arcade machines.
Yeah.
It'll come to consoles eventually, but that's an interesting move. I don't know if they know that arcades aren't really as big a thing here.
anymore.
Yeah.
The thing is, I wonder if it's being targeted for us. I wonder if it is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
a Japan first game, and arcades are the bigger
They
thing.
go down to their
It's
arcade
a
and
very-
boom, Pokken.
Whoa! Don't do that, dude. That'll damage mics.
Oh, sorry.
It's a kind of through the looking glass. And
Yeah.
nothing seems to make sense from this side of the mirror.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it must be marketed somewhere else though, because it's very. We don't really do arcades. Maybe I don't know if America
Yes,
does.
that's
America
what
does
we
arcades.
have.
Well,
consoles.
America does them less now, but they're still a thing.
Yeah.
Number 7?
Yeah.
Number 7, the voice cast for The Evil Within has been announced. The cast includes Jackie L. Haley, who is known for playing Rorschach in the Watchmen movie.
Ah, yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
He does a good job. He's a good actor. Number 8, Steam now allows for multiple installs at once, meaning you can install an entire Humble Bundle in one go and just struggle to find the time to play all of them. It's cool though, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It means I can install your whole game library at once, Lewis, and then never get round to playing them. Number 9, Mario Kart is getting 2 DLC packs, but the important thing here is that it will be the first time Mario characters from outside of the Mario universe will be seen in the game. Specifically, Link is coming into Mario Kart, which is cool.
Oh, cool.
So they're just making Mario Kart into one big...
Well, that's what my thinking here is. Is Nintendo trying to position for a kind of big kart brawler thing?
Smash Kart.
Yes,
Brothers.
it's
Nintendo Kart.
Smash Brothers Kart. Which would be cool.
Yeah.
I suppose.
If it plays like Mario Kart and I can be Link as well, awesome.
I want it to go the other way around and be Mario in Zelda.
Yeah.
Like a big green pipe.
Like a super realistic Zelda, and he just turns up like, I don't know what's going on here.
No, they do like another Majora's Mask, but you put on
They
like
could do like the whole
a Mario hat.
the
Yeah, you
Spyro,
put on a Mario face.
like the Game Boy Advance Spyro Sonic games, in which they kind of swap universes.
Oh yeah.
I think that's actually a good idea.
Be really good if Mario turned up.
Allows you
On
to...
Zelda just puts on a Tanuki suit, and he's like, "Why isn't this doing anything?"
Yeah.
Number 10, Rockstar Games is countersuing Lindsay Lohan for her trying to gain publicity via Rockstar in the first place. It's nice to see them attacking her stupid lawsuit. Basically, she said, "You've clearly modelled one of your in-game characters after me. I'm taking you to court." And they responded by saying, "No, you're being stupid, so we're taking you to court."
I didn't realise that you owned the rights to what you look like.
Yeah, I think her argument was that you've not just done what I look like, but you've mimicked my career. But even so,
Yeah.
Well, did the courts throw it out?
no, it's still
No,
yet
see.
to be seen.
Wouldn't they have to wait until that's concluded before they do a countersue? Or is it being put on hold? I don't know how the law works.
I'm not sure.
But aren't you a lawyer?
Yeah, obviously. I am all things to all people.
You should know how the law works. No.
Number 11, a recent survey of UK developers has revealed that the release of the new-gen consoles has piqued interest in developers for developing on console, but mobile and PC is still the most popular things to work on. Now, my thing here is that's probably because a lot of console games are made on PC and then ported down closer to the time.
I think
But there is a lot more market for PC and mobile.
a lot of it will be because the indie market always goes for small purchases. You know,
Yeah.
it's always like this game's £5, £10. You're never really talking much more than that. So I think it's interesting if you're marketing it on something that you've got to spend £500 on before you can play.
Yeah, true.
You know, and I think that has got something to do with it.
Very true.
Maybe they're just being cautious. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'd do.
Yeah, absolutely.
See how it flows.
Number 12, a Forza Horizon 2 demo has been announced. It will be available on the 16th of September for free on Xbox One, and they also announced its achievements, but we won't go through that.
Okay.
Cool.
Cars.
Okay.
Wonderful. Good.
Cars.
Vroom vroom.
Number 13, Escape Dead Island has been given a release date. It will be coming to the US on November. I've written here Ovember, but it's November the 18th for America. And 21st for the rest of the world. The game plans to bridge the gap between the original and the sequel, which looks markedly better
Okay.
in 2015. I'm not sure why this game exists.
Is this the
So it's a
MOBA?
mid-quel.
No, it might be a MOBA.
I think it is.
That sounds familiar.
It's like top down.
I'll
I think
have
that's what it is.
I thought they'd already escaped Dead Island. That was the
I thought that
rubbishest
was-
part of the
I thought
game.
that's what you do in the first Dead Island.
Well, apparently they're
Escape
just
from it.
keeping it going.
Wasn't there
Escape
already a
again and
sequel to
again.
Dead Island?
There was Riptide, wasn't it? Yeah.
But
That no one liked.
number 2 is the actual sequel,
Okay.
like,
Oh,
official
okay.
sequel, and it looks
Because
awesome.
it has a number.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I saw the cool
The trailer.
for it.
The
yeah.
trailer is fantastic.
The instant zombification thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 14, PlayStation Plus content has been revealed for this month.
Ah.
If you're on PS4, you get Velocity 2X and a game called Sports Friends for free. PS3 gets PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale and Horde, and PS Vita gets an updated version of Joe Danger and a game called TXK.
Is this an attempt to kind of do the whole Xbox bundle?
No.
The
this
other way
is-
around.
Yeah, Xbox.
Yeah, other way around.
Xbox
Oh,
copy.
Xbox did the copy from the
Yeah,
the
Xbox
PlayStation
did
3
games
bundle.
with gold after. So
Which is a good thing they did.
Turtles all the way down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's free game, so free game.
Yeah, free games.
Number 15, a standalone Connect 2.0 will be released later this year for those who are buying an Xbox One bundle without it. It's coming in October and will cost $150. It's bundled with the latest Dance Central game, and there is no word on when it comes to the rest of the world or the pricing.
So it costs more.
This way,
As
they
in
don't.
more if you bought both of them separately.
Yes.
This way, they don't
I guess
have
it
to
makes sense.
bury them in a
I guess
landfill in New Mexico.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I might buy one.
What do you all think of
So you're
motion detectors?
Oh, not a fan.
I like
There's no point.
Stupid for a game, good for other things. Since I bought a
I
TV...
thought iToy was fun.
Hold on, I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know that I bought a TV with a camera in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love using the camera to navigate menus and things. I think it makes them a lot easier and a lot more like...
It looks like you're a cat that's pouring a window.
Yes, but I do that anyway. Now I can control a TV with it.
I think from my point of view, like, I could get rid of the Kinect and put like a £2 microphone there, and it would do the same function as what I use the Kinect for.
Right.
You know, because
Yeah.
I don't really use any of the hand controls just
You
because
do
it's a
the
lot
talky
easier.
thing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to just go Xbox, go here, and then you say it like 20 times and it works. And then
varying
all
pitches
you're
and
actually doing,
accents.
You're
like
not
you, say,
getting me
you go
this
like
time.
Xbox, go home, Xbox, go home, and if you just push the middle button of the controller, it does it for you. So it's sort of which one of these two things is actually easier, you know? It's true.
Number 16, Assassin's Creed Unity has been delayed, meaning that the
Yeah.
game will now release on the same day as its previous German counterpart.
Oh.
The game will now release in the second week of November.
Same
Interesting.
day, same time as Rogue.
Yep, Assassin's
Oh.
Creed Rogue and Unity out on the same day. Which
Interesting
means Ubisoft is just going to rake in the money.
Oh yeah, it's always the plan.
Number 17, games with gold content has been announced for September. 360 users will get their hands on Monaco, What's Yours Is Mine, and Halo Reach,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
whereas Xbox One users will get their hands on Crimson Dragon and Super Time Force. Cool, all
There
good
is
games.
Fair
There
enough.
isn't-
Okay.
Enough good games for. Wait, Crimson Dragon's already free on Xbox Live.
Yeah, they continued it over from last month because they don't really have many good retail games that they can give away
Yeah.
cheaply enough at the minute.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it's one of the issues is that it's been a year since we had the consoles now-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
expect
Yeah.
a bigger array
And there
of
still
games
isn't
by
there
now.
still isn't a really good
It's like,
array
what,
of games
6?
for them.
Yeah, I mean the end of holiday season this year will change that. There
Yeah.
are good games coming for both.
Yeah,
Um,
but they're doing like it. I think I look at both of them and I'm looking at Nintendo as well,
Well, I
and they're
just
still
want-
suffering from because they've basically got the same thing Nintendo have had, which is like you can buy a Wii U, but there's like 5 games for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
yeah,
know?
but you've got to
Only
give
2 of those games are good.
them that the difference is that a Wii U has been out for nearly
Oh, yeah,
3
yeah,
times
of
as
course,
long.
yeah.
So.
Well, what have they been doing? Is the thing because
Porting
it was
Bayonetta.
announced like yeah
More to come on that later.
a year or so, and between then and now, I presume everything's been in development, but they've been nice and secretive about it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things
doesn't
you've got
help.
to give them is that both companies have been focusing on indies a lot more. And while indies are great, they're not the kind of banner advertising thing that sells consoles. So there is a wider range of games for both of them. It's just not the games you immediately think of when you think of what you're buying a console for.
Yeah.
Which is what the PS Vita is suffering from as well.
Yeah.
There's a great range of games for that console, but there's not a system seller yet.
Yeah, I'll go back to my PS2.
Maybe it's just a money thing.
Everything's a money thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I know. Number 18, a Nintendo rep has let leak that the indie game Gone Home will be coming to the Wii U. This comes hot off the heels of SteamWorld Dig being made available for the console. This is good. Nintendo is embracing indies. Keep it going. That's
6
a good thing
games.
for you to do. Yay!
Next year we'll get 7.
They fired the indie guy, but now they're doing indies anyway.
And well, they've apparently replaced him with somebody who's able to get indie games. So cool.
Okay.
Maybe he was less good than we thought.
Number 19, speaking of Bayonetta 2, the game has been given a release date. It will release exclusively on the Wii U on October 24th this year. Anybody excited for that game?
I'd love to
Admittedly,
be.
I've not played the first
I
one.
have no investment in.
I did play the first one.
Okay,
It was a very enjoyable game.
cool.
Very good. What do they call it? Hack and slash?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Guns. Oh, whatever. It's very good.
Shoot
Tactical
'em up.
fighter.
Shoot 'em up, hack and slash thing. Very good. But obviously, as I'm not buying a Wii U for it, so
Right. Okay.
it comes to that.
I haven't been invested in Nintendo since the GameCube.
Yeah, same. Really?
But that GameCube has served you good.
Yes.
That
It was a
GameCube has
good
served you well.
GameCube was good.
You need
games.
You need to bring that round to one of next week, and then we should plug it onto the TV and play old games again.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
Number 20, Nintendo has revealed new 3DS and 3DS XL.
Yeah.
That's so hard to say designs. Featuring a second tiny joystick to control the camera. Now, the interesting thing here is that whilst this is a good move because the Circle Pad Pro has been a popular add-on for the 3DS, they have announced that certain pieces of software will be sold on these new 3DSs that won't be sold on old 3DSs. Which seems like a silly move for Nintendo because the 3DS is their most important piece of hardware that they are selling at the minute. The 3DS is selling like hotcakes. Why would they undercut that? It seems silly.
What's that?
There are two
Lawrence
DSs
planning
as well. Okay.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
3D it goes, oh my eyes.
but what I mean is they won't be sold. They will be sold on that 3DS. That's it. So they've undercut like 2, 3, 4 of their pieces of hardware, which seems silly for a company that, let's face it, doesn't really have much hardware out there at the minute that they can brag about.
Maybe the porting is just fresh hell with fuzzy dice.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe they need that thingamadoodle Circle Pad Pro extension.
I think they would have been better off maybe calling it something else. Not instead of or marketing it as not like this is a 3DS but with a slight change.
Really?
I think there would have been more. There's probably going to be a backlash against it.
Oh, there is.
And if it was like, look at this, we made a new thing. It's going to be called a something pad.
But then the thing is, equally, for slightly more casual gamers or gamers who are having children gamers who are having games bought for them by parents and so on and so forth, they'll go, hey, I want the new 3DS game. Nintendo will still make those sales.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they're capitalising on the name as much as anything.
They've just been spending bad will.
As long as
Which they've been doing for years.
Compatibility, then I'm fine.
Well, apparently
3DS didn't have any backwards compatibility.
It did with the ordinary DS games.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, it did. But this is what they're saying. They're not. Like, old 3DSs won't be able to play these games.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's it. The new 3DS XL with the circle pad will be the 3DS, which seems like a silly move.
Yeah.
Maybe they've seen it working for Xbox and Sony.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, because the PS Vita's doing so well.
Indeed.
Number 21, indie game State of Decay is being ported up to the Xbox One. Now, this is interesting because the game was well received on Xbox 360, but said to be running rather badly. So perhaps this will be the iteration of the game that actually sort of reaches the peak that people wanted it to in the first place. It's a damn good game by all accounts. Cool. Number 22, Nintendo has cut over 300 jobs. It's 320 to be exact. We wish everyone who has lost their job the best of luck in finding and pursuing a new career or finding a new job in the industry. Good luck to you all. You've made wonderful things. Number 23, one of the oddest stories of the week. Volition has revealed a new Saints Row expansion. It's called Gat Out of Hell. But interestingly, the game will not need Saints Row 4 to work. So it's probably better to think about this as a new downloadable game rather than an expansion, if anything, because it's just sort of a new
is it a story add-on?
It's an independent story to an extent.
With the wings, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was funny.
Spoilers.
The game will focus on breaking Johnny Gat out of hell because apparently the writers of Saints Row 4 really want you to love Johnny Gat for some reason.
I don't know. I don't think you're breaking him out of hell.
Yeah, I think
You're
so.
breaking the main character out of hell.
You play Johnny.
Gat.
Okay, you play as Johnny or Kinsey.
Yeah.
So it's breaking one of them out of hell, but
Yeah.
all the marketing is being done around Johnny Gat.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a shame.
But you're trying to save the main character.
Yes.
Not the player character.
Well, it's not a
But
player
not the
character
player
now, 'cause
character in
it's
that.
Kinsey, yeah.
Yeah.
It will be
Boss.
on both previous and current gen consoles, and as well as that, Saints Row 4 is coming to the new gen of consoles.
I think it'll be good.
Maybe the game will run okay on them. I joke. Number 24, a new game in the Super Meat Boy series is being released by the developers. It's coming to mobile. It's deliberately being stressed that it's not a port of the original because it wouldn't work. It's a game built from the ground up to work with mobile controls. So that's cool.
Yeah,
to see that.
Right.
It definitely wouldn't work anyway.
No, it wouldn't. Well, they say right at the beginning of the game that you need to play this with a gamepad to make it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it will work on mobile because I don't think you'd have the control.
Maybe it'll have to be our indie game of the week sometime.
Yeah. We'll see.
Number 25, Dead or Alive 5 final round has been announced for both new-gen consoles. There is not much more to say about that.
Dead or Alive 5 sounds like a card game.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It's like, I don't know, like Texas Hold'em. Dead or Alive 5.
Hasn't there been like 3 Dead or Alive 5s at this point?
Yes.
So calling it the final one seems like they might have written themselves into a bit of a hole here.
Then there's the volleyball one.
No, we can't talk about that.
We can't. No, that's what I mean. There is nothing more to say here. Resident Evil Revelations 2 has been officially announced. It is real and coming to both new gen and previous gen consoles, despite the fact that the leak suggested it was only coming to previous.
There's a second revelation.
Apparently so. There are further revelations to be had. Number 27, the final one, the one that you will all be interested in. Bloodborne has been given a release date.
Yes!
Oh, yeah?
It's February 2015. But it's only in Japan. There is no word about when the game will release in the rest of the world, though it's probably pretty safe to assume that it won't be too long after or before that. So, quarter 1 2015 for Bloodborne. There you go.
Wonderful.
That was your headlines. And now, do we want to do indie gamer discussion?
I want to hear Loz's poem.
Shall we round off with that?
Let's round off.
Let's
with it,
round
yeah.
off with
Why
a
are you
poem.
making angry face?
I don't have any angry faces.
You were like, and I was like, what?
So, discussion topic or indie game?
Let's go with the topic, shall we?
Topic. Well, your topic this week comes from me. So I watched the latest Jimquisition from Jim Sterling, and it was called Everything's Awful But It Ain't That Bad. And it talked about how, in light of recent arguments and things that he refused to comment on, as did we, the games industry is really bad at the minute. But it ain't that bad, because for all these evil AAA people, as he decided to paint them, there are indie developers doing good things. And that's a cool way to look at things, but it made me think about something very specific. He painted DLC as an evil, money-grabbing trait of the industry. And I don't know that I'm inclined to agree with him. So I want your thoughts on this. Is DLC bad?
Lewis.
Yeah. I'm kind of drawn. I've never myself bought any DLC, at least not outright. I bought it with packs, things like the Borderlands 2 like Game of the Year thing that came with DLC. I don't know. I feel that if you're buying... I'm not actually against all DLC, but when it comes to day one DLC, which is DLC that is already completed when the game is released.
Yeah.
You buy the game, and then if you wanted to play this DLC, you'd have to buy another bit. And I'm very much against that. I think if you're buying a game for 60 quid, you should get, if not a season pass, to be honest. Because I was thinking about this, Cameron, actually, is that you got Borderlands 2.
I did.
And the season pass and all that stuff.
Yeah, I bought them separately.
Yeah, and how much did that cost you in the end?
So I bought Borderlands 2 for 25 quid.
Okay.
And then I bought the season pass. Well, here's where I screwed up. I bought the season pass for 20 quid. Didn't realise how a season pass worked.
That's your
and
fault.
then had to like... Yeah, this is my fault. So in all, it cost me 60 quid.
Ouch.
That's okay.
But, okay.
150 hours into the game.
I didn't know that you hadn't bought it. I thought you bought it when it first came out.
No.
Okay.
No.
But anyway, let's say you did. Pretend you did.
In the name of argument.
I don't know. I feel that if you buy... In fact, actually, the fact you spent 60 quid kind of works. I feel that if someone buys a game for 60 quid or for 50 quid when it first comes out, like during the first month or so, I feel like those are the people that are entitled to everything. You know? Because I feel like down the line, I've got the same thing that someone who will have spent 60 quid plus another 20 quid for the thing for like 15 down the line. I don't know.
I think there's a certain opacity as to just how much of the developer's time you're getting.
Yeah.
Because with DLC, you know that you're not getting... DLC that has been worked on in the period of game production, if you just buy the game straight up, there's no telling just how much time you're getting of the developer. Well, see, my viewpoint on this is along the lines of: do you think that you're getting a good deal?
Yeah.
And what constitutes a good deal is, I don't know. I mean, in general, in the games industry, the number of hours, just putting it in a raw form of how many hours of entertainment you can get out of this game, is difficult. But let's go with that for the time being.
Yeah, no.
The hours have been going up relative to the price, even though the price has been going up. But at the same time, isn't that what you would expect as time goes on? You'd expect a greater productivity of
And I think we have to. I think we have to start this discussion off by saying and making it extremely clear that actually, based on context, games are cheaper now than they've ever been. Considering the amount you get in them, games you know back in the days of the N64, games could cost upwards of $80-90, and were considerably, as far as I'm aware. But games are cheaper now than they have been for a long time, if you include everything like Steam bundles, bundles, small Steam things, but as well as AAA.
That's on the other side of the divide, isn't it, though? So you wouldn't include them.
In what sense?
In the event of a crash, one of those would survive and balloon up from the mushrooms, just like in the balloon up from the remnants, just like they did in the last game's crash of, what was it?
The 80s.
Yeah.
E.T. and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. That old whale on the horizon. And the other one is the one that's going to crash, because, you know, the games industry isn't a homogeneous whole, it's heterogeneous.
Getting a bit sciencey, though.
Okay. There are different people in the games industry. Charging different rates, Lewis.
Thank you. Thanks for the simple explanation.
I understood him.
Peter, what are
What's
your
your
thoughts?
Jinx.
I don't know. Since I've never heard of one day DLC until today, I don't.
Well, it's
really
not just
have
DLC
any
in
opinion
general.
on it. I think it. In general, I think it's good.
Yeah.
But I would say it depends. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but just from me, when I'm not really into the whole DLC thing as
I like it when it comes to having extra content to a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I brought Borderlands 2 up, but that's a really good example, actually, where DLC comes out and it does add, you know, more hours of content, a lot more hours of content, you know, each time. I think you get a lot of DLC where it's, like, not the case where you're getting loads more hours, you know.
Yeah.
I think that happens fairly often. I don't know.
I think...
Again, like Lewis, I never actually physically set out to buy DLC. Like, I bought the Arkham City Game of the Year edition. Then I kind of figure, well, what's the point of DLC when what's the point of getting DLC now when along the line you're going to get the something edition with all the other stuff in it anyway?
That's what I do.
Because I think if everybody thinks like that, then something editions won't happen. Something editions happen because there is a market for this DLC to be bought. It's because enough people bought it and said this is good DLC and it's a game of the year, or the definitive edition, or whatever term you want to put it under. I think if people... I read recently Borderlands... This is a piece of news I didn't put on here because 27's enough. But Borderlands, the pre-sequel, got a Season Pass announcement. And it's the same as Borderlands 2, where you get 4 distinct new stories. And they're if we're going along Borderlands 2 standard, they're fairly chunky and fairly good quality. You get all the level upgrades as well, and it costs $30, which is as much as some people will buy the game for.
Yeah.
But I did a stupid thing and read the comments because internet. I read the comments and everybody was saying, "Right, I'm going to wait for this for Game of the Year." And I thought to myself, that's fair enough. But if everybody thinks that Game of the Year won't be a thing that happens anymore because there will be no reason to sell the content like that.
Well, no, because if people are saying, I'll wait for the Game of the Year, then the manufacturer can clearly see there's a demand for it, regardless of whether people buy the DLC.
But will they bother to put the DLC out in the first place? Like, will they... If they say, I'm not going to buy this season pass at all, I'm going to wait for the Game of the Year edition, will enough people actually... Because Game of the Year edition isn't just the DLC, it's the game in the first place.
I think they put out the DLC just because they know people would buy it.
True. Okay. All right, you've talked me down. Has anybody actually bought straight DLC in here? or DLC for a game? Do you have DLC? I know that you do. You bought the Game of the Year edition of Borderlands.
Yeah.
So Borderlands, I think, is a really good example of great DLC.
Yeah.
It adds hours and hours and hours and hours of content onto the game. It tells good stories that aren't necessary for the original.
Yeah.
And it can be got cheaply.
Yeah.
Or at least it can be got cheaply relative to what you're buying. Another good example is Red Dead Redemption and their Undead Nightmare pack. That was practically an entirely new game, and it was a third of the price of what you would have paid for Red Dead Redemption on day one.
Yeah.
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon, Blood Dragon's a good example.
Well, I suppose for me, it just comes down to: do you think you got your money's worth?
Yeah. I don't like it when it's just like you're spending for, say, an extra gun or something like that. I know it's kind of microtransactions,
Especially if there's a multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that's something that Borderlands 2 does.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
We were playing it on Friday? Saturday. We were playing it on Saturday. We were playing through some Borderlands, myself and Lawrence, and Lawrence tried to go into the skin machine and changed his skin to something fancy.
Yeah.
And he scrolled down and nearly bought one of the things with my Xbox with an Xbox Live account. And it was an interesting thing because.
But that's entirely different because what I nearly bought was a uniform, and a uniform is entirely cosmetic, which is entirely different to something like a gun, which is functional.
But
I can't stand it though when they're like £5 or something though.
Well, it was £1.29, I think, and it was a suit that looked kind of Tronny for Axton. But like it effectively, that is DLC. It's content you download that adds onto the game.
No, it's the Team Fortress 2 hat.
Yes. That's
Well,
a perfect example.
I don't like the other thing.
I thought the hats buffed you a bit.
Nah,
no.
there's
They're just completely cosmetic hats.
Entirely cosmetic.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
The thing is though is that I don't like DLC as well when it's not it's not really downloadable content because the content's there on the disc. It's just here's an unlock code.
Yeah, unlock
that's what
on
Capcom
disc
did.
DLC is an entirely different game.
Yeah,
It's not DLC because it's not downloaded.
Yeah.
Now, I have to bring up an I don't know how much I agree with you there.
I would say if it's on the disc, when you bought the
free.
disc,
Yeah.
you're entitled to what's on the disc.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. If you buy the disc, then you should be
It's
entitled
your
to
disc.
it.
How did before I say anything, how did Capcom handle that? Was that DLC that was going to be released separately for a price and was stored there? So
I
it wasn't
don't
actually
fully
buying it, it was
know.
just unlocking it.
I
On
never
the-
bought, as you well
when-
know, I didn't.
When they did Capcom X Tekken when it came out on Vita, you had to pay and download the extra characters.
Okay,
On consoles, they were already there on the
Okay.
disc, and you had to again buy. Just
Did
to
you have to
unlock
pay to
Yes,
unlock
you
them?
did.
Okay, yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
redundant.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up Arkham City, which had day one DLC of Catwoman, but the day one DLC was given to you free if you bought the game, which I thought was a really good way of trying to outdo the used game industry.
Was that on disc or not?
No,
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 it was a code.
it's a code.
The code.
Yeah, the code didn't unlock on a DS.
No,
you needed
it downloaded from the marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that was a really good way to outdo the used game industry. Was hey, you can buy this like that, or you could buy it new for a little bit more, and we'll give you this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was a really good way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, fine.
I'm just googling something to see if it is an example of bad DLC, as I think it is. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Another DLC thing I don't like is when it comes to fighting games.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like you pay to get Ryu in a hat when he's just the same Ryu, but he's in a hat.
Well,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
but it's... I don't know. Buying things that are just for the look are probably, I'd say I'd prefer... Because that's entirely cosmetic. That doesn't... If there is a multiplayer element, it doesn't... Spending money doesn't give you an edge. And that's okay because it shouldn't. You know, the edge should come from the skill, not from your ability to open your wallet.
I don't know. I feel that if there are games out there that can be completely free with cosmetic items, like Dota or something like that, where you've got a completely free game, everything's free, but if you wanted to buy certain items or certain things like that, it would cost you money.
Cosmetic items.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Team Fortress 2 hats.
Yeah. Well, Team Fortress admittedly was
Low
originally not free, But if that's
Oh, right, sorry, I didn't hear that bit.
yeah, if that's still profitable, then surely if people are buying the game for 50 quid, you can, give them that stuff for free.
But then
This just comes down to how much do you think is reasonable to pay for
Yeah.
how much content.
Yeah.
I think it also depends on how much is in the game. Like, I don't think it would have mattered if they'd done that with Borderlands, because there's hundreds of hours on that disc. It might have mattered for something like Remember Me, where it's a 10-hour game and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up a game, Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah.
Tomb Raider, by all accounts, a great game, well made, perfectly polished, good review scores, so on and so forth. The place that the DLC focused on was the multiplayer. There was one piece of single player DLC and it wasn't a story expansion, and that to me is bad DLC,
Yeah.
because that focuses on a bit of the game that was not advertised, not focused on for the campaign. It's not really what people wanted out of it, so why give them more of it?
I'm a little bit more inclined to be okay with multiplayer DLC though.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I
As
mean, if you're
in-
cutting off the main story, like say Batman games, okay, you're taking stories out of the game and selling them separately, okay.
Right, I get this.
Whereas if the thing is not advertised with this multiplayer element, or even if it is, and you're saying you can buy this multiplayer element for more, then that's not the game you bought originally. It's more.
See, I would say, I'm of the mind, the thing about multiplayer is, with certain exceptions, it runs out.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
And if you buy a multiplayer based DLC, you have, in time, thrown that money away. But
Well,
for the main story,
well.
for the single player, you'll always have that DLC
True.
for what you bought it for.
As long as it's
Well,
hosted and
yeah,
supported
yeah.
and all that kind of...
Yeah, these days it's a bit different.
Or how do you mean?
Well,
like
if
Steam could go
Xbox
down.
Live decided that all the Arkham City DLC didn't matter anymore and took it down, you wouldn't have access to it.
They could actually remove.
Yeah,
They've done it in the
Yeah.
past. When Marvel and Activision's contracts ran out, Marvel took all their games down.
Well, that's an outright
It's-
violation of the "I have this disc, so I own it. I bought this thing,
If
so
you
I own
didn't
it."
buy it on... it kind of is.
It's bought under a EULA, so you don't own it. It's unpleasant,
Yeah, it is.
and
it
it's
is.
Microsoft anyway.
The thing is, that-
And every other digital...
And every other owned
Digital platform.
owned software, yeah.
you've got a fanboy.
No, you haven't...
Technically, I'm
Right,
the
call me a
fanboy
fanboy,
here.
I don't care.
Was that Tomb Raider DLC
Okay.
Tomb of
I will.
Osiris?
Yeah,
no, Osiris's
Oh.
Tomb is a separate top-down
Is
four-player.
it still DLC?
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
is it
No,
just-
it's not.
is it
It's
its
not.
own game?
No, it's its own game. It's a
Oh, okay, I
sequel
didn't know
to
that.
Guardian of Light, which came out a couple of years
okay,
ago.
Yeah.
Fun game. Garden of Light was actually quite good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got
I
it
was
free
just-
on
I was just
Games of Gold. It's
confused.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's quite a good game.
That's right. What was I going to say? See, I disagree with you about the cutting off stories things. I think with the Batman games, I don't think it is a cut off story. I think it's like the next stage of the story. I think with the Arkham City, quite specifically, you have a start to Arkham City and an end to Arkham City.
yeah.
You can play through that game having never touched the DLC, and it wouldn't make a difference. If you play the DLC, you get a little more of a
Oh,
new.
yeah.
You get a new story. It's not the same thing
Yeah.
in my mind.
Like Cold Heart for
Yeah,
Origins
okay.
and Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Yeah, exactly. Or like what's it called? Lost at Sea for BioShock
Oh
Infinite.
yeah.
I will agree with you
Parallel
as
Sea.
long as those don't impact, say, the next game. If I'm missing out on something in the next game because I didn't buy DLC in the
Oh, I
previous
see.
game,
Yeah.
that bugs me.
I would put money on it, there being a scene at the beginning of Arkham Knight
Yeah?
Yeah.
where Gordon will be talking to Batman. He'll go, "Oh, hey, wasn't it terrible that Harley Quinn did this, and this, and I read
Oh.
on."
Oh, Crisis gave you a previously on at the beginning of Crisis
Yeah,
2.
like that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but like established in the game itself, so that you don't miss it.
Is that as good?
But if you don't pay
Oh,
for it,
like-
does it make a difference?
Yeah.
Like if it might not be as good, but you still have the option to go back and pay £8 and play it, but you don't miss
I mean,
anything.
Darkness 2 gave us a previously on the Darkness, the bridge between Darkness 1 and 2.
No, yeah.
We didn't have to pay for that either.
I think my other problem with DLC is it doesn't seem to apply the same rules of things getting cheaper as they progress.
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
Like, games get cheaper as the years go on, but DLC doesn't seem to as much.
Mm-hmm.
If you, like, I will bet you that the Arkham City DLC is probably the same price as it was when it
Yeah,
was
it
released.
is. You have
Whereas
to
the
have to
game-
like keep an eye out for sales and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Whereas the game will now be like 15, I don't know, 20 quid.
Although I think that's subject to the choice of the people who put it out. Like, I certainly know that in sales, at least, the value of how much it's being... Like, I bought the LA Noire DLC for £3,
Oh, really?
and all of it when it was like £15 at launch, and it had various sales. So I think that is up to the choice of the developer and publisher. So it could be
Okay.
the case, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's just something I've noticed, I think, with a lot of DLCs. It doesn't seem to follow the same curve or pattern in general.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a bit of an opaque market.
Yeah.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, where do we stand now?
Not as it is, but
Finish.
don't agree to I don't disagree to the principle.
Cool. Lewis?
Ban it all.
Cool. Peter?
I'm joking.
I still think it's still a good idea.
Cool. I like DLC with value is good to me. DLC that's sold just to be sold, I dislike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So now we move on to the indie game of the week. Mr. Crawford. Somebody's getting a phone call. Mr. Crawford, tell us about your
So-
indie game of the week.
The indie game of the week is called No Time to Explain.
Awesome.
You are... You're watching TV. Or the main character watching TV. And someone bursts through the door, the house. The house kind of explodes. And someone
like
bursts through...
Kool-Aid Man time.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Oh yeah.
And he says, I am you from the future. There's no time to explain. And then a giant crab thing grabs him and runs away with him, and you have to chase after him. And you have a gun that propels you. So sort of like you can jump and fire downwards and you sort of fly higher.
Like a jetpack joyride.
I know one of those. They're called a regular gun.
Are you going to test that theory?
It's like a jetpack laser.
Yeah, jetpack laser.
Yeah.
And you basically have to go through loads of different puzzles and things like that. Well, not puzzles, like platforming challenges using this thing. But as you go through, you're sort of changing the past and things in the future go weird, and it kind of has a multiverse thing going on with it.
Yeah.
And so just things randomly happen and change, and instead of fighting a crab, you're fighting
Crab's
a...
a giant shark with a
shark.
jetpack on and laser teeth. And then-
So where is its vintage being extracted from? I'm smelling a little bit of Bioshock Infinite here.
I'm
you?
smelling Super
Oh, I
Meat
guess.
Boy crashed with Web of Shadows. That awful Spider-Man game.
You liked it.
No, Shattered Dimension.
Oh, Shadow.
not Web of
Oh,
Shadows.
Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
one
Web
with
of
the
Shadows.
Let's see.
multiple worlds.
It's not as difficult
Whatever.
as Super Meat Boy.
I'm not saying
There
it's
are many
exactly the same.
things-
I'm
It's
just
not-
saying it
it's more of
seems
an
similar.
it's like
There are many
action.
things that are not as difficult as Super Meat Boy.
It's
Yeah,
very action
most.
platform.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's...
Getting from point A to point B with your laser jetpack whilst avoiding giant crabs and sharks.
Yeah, and it's got some really interesting levels that just explore random stuff happening. It's got a story, but it's quite it's interesting, just because the story is so like messed up. There's a bit in it where you get captured and like held in a cell for like 5 years, and you come out of it and you got mental powers.
That's. I don't know this.
To be honest, it's just a very fun platform. It's very silly.
Have you ever heard of? Have you ever listened to a child when they're explaining an adventure they've just had? And
I've-
then this happened.
I've
yeah.
talked to you many times.
And
Yeah.
then we ran into a giant space crab. And then the shutters came down. And then everything was blue.
Yeah.
It sounds like that.
Wouldn't Dead
all
Space
honesty-
be so much better if that was how it happened?
Just narrated by a child.
Yeah, and then round the corner there was a giant space crab.
And then this tentacle came down
In
and
all
pulled
honesty,
me up
though-
a shadow. And then I was in a completely different place.
Yeah, exactly.
In all honesty, the game does play like that, though. The story is played out pretty much like that. Like, then this happens, and then weird stuff happens. Like that. It's very much like that.
Cool. Like Curse of Enchantia.
But it is a very enjoyable game. It's got a silly story to put that to put all the gameplay bits together.
Put you down.
So, the game is available on Windows, Linux, and Mac on Steam. Yes?
Yes.
Cool.
I have it on Steam.
You have
should
it on
play
Steam?
You should play it.
I will. I'll install it off your thing. There are versions planned for Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation 3, Sony's PS Vita, and iOS. It was developed by Tiny Build Games, and it released on August 15th in 2011. So it's less recent than I thought it was, because I saw August 15th
Yeah.
and thought,
Yeah, I did wonder when you said it was recent.
Yeah.
Is it more recent than Dwarf Fortress?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
by a
okay,
long
well, cool.
shot.
But yeah, it's very enjoyable, and I've been having quite a lot of fun with it.
How far through are you at the minute?
The bit where I've got mental powers.
Nice. What's its art style like?
What's that?
What's its art style like?
I'm trying to think of a similar game. I don't know. It's quite cartoony.
Is it
Okay.
cell shaded?
No,
No.
it's not Borderlands.
It's kind of like a Super Nintendo-ish type.
Yeah.
style.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've got it. It reminds me kind of Cyanide and Happiness.
Yeah. It is quite similar to that sort of
That's
art
cool.
style.
Yeah, that's cool.
It started off as a Flash game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
saw
one.
that it was. You can get it on Newgrounds and Congregate for free.
Yeah. That's basically the first level, sort of this game.
That was what it was before. kind
Yeah,
of.
it's
That's
like
cool.
the same sort of thing. Super Meat Boy was originally called Meat Boy.
Yeah.
As a Flash game, and then they released Super Meat Boy, which is the super one.
Does that
Interest-
mean they added the moving to the right section?
Yes.
Interestingly, if you haven't watched Indie Game the movie, you should watch it because it kind of charts the development of Meat Boy, and it's a very interesting thing to watch. Team Meat are really cool.
It explains how Phil Fish is how he is.
Well, it doesn't
maybe.
really need explaining; it just happens. But
Uh,
so that's the Indie Game of the week.
Okay.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to move on to our brand new segment. Every week, we set our own man of waxing lyrical, Lawrence Titley, a thematic challenge, and he has to write a poem about it. So, our very own Yahtzee Croshaw, Mr. Lawrence Titley.
the name of this particular one. Should I give the subject?
Yeah. Give
Yeah.
the subject. Would
The
you
su-
like me to give the subject?
You give the subject. You do it in your elegant trademark fashion.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to do it in smooth radio voice. So I got to challenge you to your subject this week, and the thematic subject I gave you was a soldier inside the console wars.
The bitter console.
The bitter
wars.
console wars. I didn't want to give you the trenches because that's a thing I've watched already. So a soldier.
Yeah. Right. So this one's called. This is the first in a two-part. I don't know whether I'll bring the two-part here because I might have got bored of it by then. It's called Sweet and Fitting. Remember the 22nd of November when first bloomed the deadliest light of the glorious next gen Xbox One out of 10. This is radio, so I'll be polite. When the first fire bloomed, then our foes were all doomed. So we thought in our arrogant grandeur. But its marketing bid taught us no. But its marketing bid taught us naught what it did, and its makers were lacking in candour. First it needed Connect, and it could stand direct, and pre-owned CD were forbidden. Then a U-turn was made, though it lying flat stayed, and the reasons to buy it were hidden. For a time the one ruled, and ourselves we had fooled that our star had the sky as its own. Then a second star bloomed, Sony's armies illumined. With a knick-knack, give a watchdog a bone. This we couldn't expect, for the Xbox execs had considered a promise alone of some upcoming stuff was enticement enough. Yet PS4 had 2 games neath its throne. With such an arsenal assailed, not a few of us quailed, yet our overlords drove us all hence to the enemy's guns, neath the 2 burning suns, and the war then in proper commenced.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lawrence Titley. Come on, clap, people.
Hey, where's your clapping?
If the
Let's see
console
your
was
I'm
were a
doing the
movie,
audio
that
levels.
would be the opening narration.
Oh, yeah?
I tried to go all Wilfred Owensy, but that seemed a bit disrespectful.
So then, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're pretty much done here. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I think about.
Is there anything else anybody wants to say?
Do we have?
Oh.
Do we have a challenge this week?
Do you want a challenge set now?
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Challenge.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a challenge for Lawrence's poem of the week?
Or just a general challenge?
Or a general challenge?
Well, yes, you know.
Oh,
the-
he's on about a giveaway.
Oh, no, we don't have a giveaway this week, I'm afraid. Our Walking Dead Season 2 one elapsed. Nobody took it, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to go home and play it. Because it was my code in the first place.
We were going to do some Resident Evil, but we thought no, that's
Well, I
that's
was
not
bu-
an enticement.
I was buying music at the weekend, and HMV offered me Resident Evil 6 for £5, and we were like, we could give it away. No, nobody would want that. So,
You should have given it away to me.
haven't you got a copy?
No.
Why?
I don't have any Resident Evil games.
Really? I thought you'd be a Resident Evil person.
Not really.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid... Oh, I see what you mean by challenge. I'm afraid we don't have a challenge this week, but you're always welcome to contact us anyway. Tell us what your favourite thing...
Give us your
Tell us what
opinions
you
on
want.
DLC.
Yeah, tell us what your favourite thing about the gaming industry this week was, as each week. And you know what? If we like you enough, maybe we'll find a game for you. There you go. That's a cool challenge. Be friendly. So,
Excellent to each other.
ladies, lads and gents, what have you been playing this week, and what will you be playing next week?
Starting with Lawrence.
Well,
Is it the
I
same
had
thing?
a falling for Dwarf Fortress, as
you
it
did.
were. Yes, it was on. Basically, I decided I love this Minecraft so much. Maybe I should go and see what it is that it was supposedly stolen from.
This isn't one of your 2 games.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Is it as good?
A 3rd game.
It's difficult. Shall we put it like that?
Okay. The tone of voice says all that needs to be said, I think.
There's a lot of considerations. It's one of those tedious management games.
Oh, right, okay. Mr. Crawford?
I've been playing a lot of Just Cause 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And why is that? Just cause.
Yeah. It's quite enjoyable.
I hate you.
Quite a bit of that. Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, loads of things, but I'm all over the place.
Cool. Mr. Clark,
AC4.
Oh,
how
yeah.
far through are you now?
Shh. The end, probably.
Quite far, actually.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to know.
Do you think you'll be finished by next week?
Probably.
All right, well, I expect an update. Good man. Well, I have been playing... I decided to try my best 100% GTA 5.
Oh, okay.
And then realised that would take me a lot longer than I thought. So
Yeah.
I'm still playing GTA 5. And what will we be playing this week?
Minecraft.
Cool.
Yeah.
Still Dwarf Fortress. I'm not that
And still
adventurous.
AC4
Yep.
as well, but, you know.
I don't know. I've got too many games, to be honest.
You do.
Every time you ask me what game you've been playing this week, and it's like, these 20 games.
Well, like
Maybe-
every time we say it and you go, oh, I'll probably be playing this. And then you come back in next week and it's like, I've been playing Just Cause 2, the one
Yeah.
I didn't mention.
Well, I have about 200 games installed on my computer.
Yes, you do.
Maybe you should go back to Castlevania with all your vampire friends.
All right, personal attack.
I was going to say, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I've got about 200 games installed on my computer. So, like, while the idea was I was going to install them and just uninstall them as I complete them, the problem
that's
is
clever.
instead of doing that,
I
I've
should
just been
do that.
everywhere. You know, so it's like this day I'm playing Just Cause 2, next day I'm playing another game, next day it's Watch Dogs, next day it's...
I'm imagining one final day at the end of it where you go through and complete the
Finished.
very last bit of every single
And
game.
he finishes Watch Dogs, 100%, uninstalls, and then just pops into dust.
Yeah. Well, it's like, my life is complete, put the controller down.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Take me. I've also been playing Pokemon of the Inventory a lot
Oh, yeah.
because it's really good. The more I play it, the more I like it.
Oh, yeah. The first one or the second one?
Second one,
Oh, okay.
Claptrap and Moxie.
With GLaDOS.
Yes,
Yeah.
Claptrap, Moxie, and GLaDOS. It's awesome.
Nice.
I'm going to be playing Monaco,
Oh, yeah.
trying to finish Dishonored, and a bit of Red Faction on Steam to finish that.
Which Red Faction?
I'm getting the one you got for me for Christmas.
Ah, yeah, okay.
And Minecraft on the server.
Yes.
I've
back up
got, I've
on
got
the road.
ideas.
Ooh,
Oh.
cunning.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
I've thought of how to, you know, I'll say it later.
No. Say it. Say it.
No,
Still, we've got a minute and a
I've
half.
thought of more how to restructure the top bit of my cabin.
You need
more
to.
reinforcement.
You need to come and see Julia's fancy house. She's got 2 of them now, and they're mind-bogglingly good.
Fancy.
Very fancy. Are we done here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our 4th episode of the podcast. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Clark.
Oh yeah. Same time, same back channel.
Indeedio. Thank you very much, Mr. Crawford.
You're welcome.
Cool. Thank you, Middle of the Man Sandwich Titley.
Live long and something or other.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have been Cameron McCulloch-Keeble, and this has been the Games Up Show, the Games Up podcast. We will be back next week, but for this week, the Game's Up.